Monday, October 24th, 2016, we received a report from a woman that her 6 children and her common law partner were no longer at their residence. The woman was away from the home at the time and believed her partner was in the process of moving the entire family to Ontario. We confirmed that the man was in Ontario with the children and immediately alerted police agencies in that province. A Canada-wide warrant was also issued to give police in Ontario the ability to charge him once he was located. The children had been in the man's care while the mother was away. However, he did not have permission or consent to take them out of the area, out of the Calgary area. All evidence showed that the children were not in immediate danger and that the man was able and planning to care for them. He also had made contact with authorities here in Alberta while driving through Ontario, further reducing concerns over the welfare of the children. The man and the 6 children were located in good condition near Durham, Ontario by the Durham Police. The children will be transported back to Alberta as soon as possible, and the man will be returned to Alberta hopefully within the next week. To protect the identity of the victims and the privacy of the family, the name of the accused will not be released. And I'll take any questions you guys have right now.
What makes you think that the kids were not in immediate danger?
So the relationship with the offender is a long relationship. They have known them his whole life, and we had been in contact with he had been in contact with authorities here in Calgary, which also made us know that the children were actually being cared for and were in no immediate danger at all.
What can you tell us of the relationship between the man and the kids right now?
At this point, we're still investigating the relationship. All we know at this point is that he had no legal authority whatsoever over the children. It was just a consent to take care of them at the time.
Because my understanding is that police in Ontario was saying that the man was the dad of the kids, but you can't confirm that.
So at this point, I can't confirm that he is the father of the children. I can generally say that he's not the legal guardian of the children.
Where are the children right now?
So the children right now are in Durham. They were taken by their social services and placed into a home to care for them at the time.
What do you mean by in communication with authorities? What kind of communication are you?
So the male that was arrested had made contact with one of our partner agencies here in Alberta, letting us know that he was in Ontario and that he was caring for the children at the time.
It seems odd, I think, to a lot of people that 6 children are abducted. You put out a Canada-wide warrant but say nothing publicly. Why did you make that decision to not say anything about 6 missing kids in our city?
So we have to weigh, in each case we have to weigh whether or not notifying the public is actually in the best interest of the investigation. In this case, we actually were aware very early on that he was in Ontario and that the children were safe. By actually putting out that media request, that actually may cause him to leave the jurisdiction where we believed he was. We also knew what type of vehicle he was driving. We had information that allowed us to actually look for that individual. If we put out too much information sometimes to the public, occasionally that can be detrimental to the investigation and will actually cause us to not be able to find the children as quickly. In this case, because we were sure that there was no imminent risk at this point to the children, we wanted to take normal strategies or traditional investigative strategies to try and locate the kids.
You said that the kids have known the man for many years. Was he part of the family?
He is the common law of the children's mother.
How did the arrest unfold?
So I can't speak exactly to the rest. I don't know the exact circumstances of the Durham arrest. We know that we were contacted because we had placed a notification on the vehicle and on the offender's name. When they ran the license plate, they were able to identify that we were interested in them, and then they contacted us, at which point we advised that we wanted them arrested and the children were to be apprehended. I know that the Durham Police Department did a wonderful job. Obviously, you could tell this could be a very stressful incident for 6 children. They made sure that social services were aware, and they actually were able to get the children with social services and off before they actually were able or took the offender into custody, placed handcuffs on him, and so on to try and reduce the stress to the kids.
If he was in contact with police as he moved across the country, were you able to ping his cell phone and figure out his locations along the way, and did that play a role in finding him?
He was in communication with us, however, it was not via cell phone. Pings on cell phones were unsuccessful.
How was he in contact with you?
He was in contact with our partner agency via email, I believe.
Well,
You said that the mom was away from home?
I can't say which partner agency.
You said that the mom was away from home, so could you tell us where she was?
Fortunately, I can't, for the privacy of the family, I can't say where she was. All I can say, though, is that she was away from the home for a period of time, and that she had given consent to the offender to care for the children here in the Calgary area.
But to be clear, this was a random traffic stop where they actually checked the license plate and went, oh, whoa, there's something going on here that we need to follow up.
Yeah, that's my understanding, is that it was, I'm not sure if it was a random stop. I'm not sure how they identified the vehicle. I believe there was something suspicious or something alerted. I'm not sure of the exact circumstances of that. All I know is that the officer in Durham did run the license plate, at which time it notified him that we were interested in that vehicle and the occupants we believed were inside of it.
Is the biological father is aware of what's going on?
We have no information at this point of who the biological father is.
How could you be certain that they were in no imminent danger, but at the same time be worried about the possible negative implications of the sort of escalating the situation by putting out an Amber Alert or notifying the public and the media? Like, how do you?
We always have to gauge. We always have to gauge the difference between, obviously, when we put out a notification on a vehicle, that's to try and get information and intelligence on where that individual is. That's basically what we were attempting to do at that point. We knew what area he was in, and we also knew that he had been caring for these children for a significant period of time and was well aware, or was in their life. So, again, we always have to gauge each time. Although this is not a parental abduction, because he is not a parent that we are aware of at this time, parental abductions do occur on a semi-common basis. So we do always have to take each one into consideration and the risk that it poses to the children.
Do you know why he was in Ontario? Why he brought the kids to there?
I believe he has family in Ontario, so I can only gauge he most likely was bringing back because that's where his support network is.
I'm sorry I missed this. I came
That's
late,
all right.
but do we have any more? Can you elaborate all on why this all happened, why he took them?
I can't elaborate on why he took him. We haven't interviewed him as of yet to understand the true reasoning of why he brought them across country. Generally speaking, when any cases of parental abduction, it's usually because they believe it's in the best interest of the child. That's why it's very rare for parental child abductions to actually be very high risk, because they're actually believing that they are acting in the best interest of the child so that they can care for the child. So does that make sense?
What charges he's been faced?
So right now he's charged with 6 counts of child abduction under 14. There are several different child abduction, sections in the criminal code, depending on whether it's parental, whether it's non-parental, and others require different types of authorization, who approves them for us to lay them. So.
Do the kids all have the same parents?
The children all have the same mother. We are not sure about the father at this point. We're looking into that investigation.
And what's going to happen to the kids? They will we will bring them back to Calgary?
Ultimately, our goal is to bring them back to Calgary as soon as possible. Child and Family Services in Ontario and Child and Family Services in Alberta are obviously going to be made aware, because they're going to deal with the best interest of the child moving on. We do have partnerships, obviously, with the Missing Children Society of Canada, who have with WestJet. That is an option of us bringing them back. However, we have to reach out to that partner agency. So that is an option for us at this point, but our main goal at this point is the safety of children and to bring them back to Calgary as soon as possible.
But eventually, will the mom be in charge of the kids again?
The mother still is in charge of the kids. The children are not wards of the province or anything of that nature. The mother has guardianship over the children.
So she's not good. There's no potential that I don't know, could she face any potential penalties, either, something from like being careless or something like that, allowing this to happen or anything, or no, that's not gonna happen?
Not at this point from us, but that will be an investigation that will be looked into later on. So.
Was this man known to police?
In which,
Previous, really,
like domestic history with them? No, we're not aware of the couple.
Criminal
Or
past.
I can't speak to his criminal past, but I can tell you that the police have no history with the couple or the children.
Can you just go through the timeline again? Because they were reporting this on Monday, so, and obviously the mother was away, so when do you actually think the children left Calgary?
So on Monday, I can't speak to exactly when I believe everything could have occurred, but on Monday is when we were able to determine, or the initial report was that the children were missing. We had information on Monday that he may be in Ontario. And we believe, obviously, depending on driving time to Ontario, it would have to be a Monday or sometime Sunday. You never know.
Sorry,
That's
any
right.
idea how long it's going to take for the mother and the children to get back together?
That's our priority at this point. So we want to make sure that we can get the kids back here to Calgary as quickly as possible and be reunited with the mother. I don't know timelines of that, as soon as we possibly can. So.
Yeah, I
And the
just wanted
van,
to-
that was his van? That was stopped
I
in?
didn't know he was actually in a van, but it was his vehicle that he was stopped in. Yeah.
I just did want to clarify, when you said kids, a little while ago, you said kids might be brought back to Calgary by the Missing Children Society of Westchester. The press release says they will be. Which is it?
So the children are going to be brought back to Calgary. It's going to depend. The only thing that's in question at this point is whether the Missing Children Society of Canada is going to be bringing them back, or whether we're going to have to find alternate arrangements, whether that's Alberta government's going to be flying them back. That's going to be more of a process thing, and who's going to be paying for the flights. But ultimately, they're going to be brought back, no matter what agency does it, as quickly as possible.
When is his next appearance?
I'm not sure when his next appearance is. I believe he had one today. Normally, we'll ask for a 72-hour hold, in which case our Crown, who's already aware of this file and who authorized the charges and the extension of the warrants, will liaise and will deal with the criminal proceedings and what's going to happen after that.
Perfect. Thank you all very much. I think we'll
Can you
end
just,
it there.
sorry, just on the emails, the communication that you received from him, how many emails were there, and can you just describe the tone of the
I can't say how many emails there actually were because I don't know. The general tone was that the children, again, were in no immediate threat and that he believed that he was doing what was right for the kids. But I can't say for sure because, again, that's going through our partner agency. So
Just to be clear, so he was making the effort to contact the authorities, even though he wasn't the legal guardian, he was being proactive in contacting authorities saying, I have these kids and I'm moving with them.
I'm not sure. I wouldn't say proactive. In fact, that obviously there are things that could have been done prior to if he felt, depending on how he felt. But he did reach out to us. However, by the time he reached out to us, we were already aware, though, that this had occurred. But it did give us reason to believe that the children were not in any danger.
How's the mom doing?
Mom's good. She's doing well. Obviously, she misses her kids. She's worried about that, but she's glad that the children were found safe and are going to be returned to her shortly.
Just one clarification, is it 18 months to 11 years old or 11 years old to 18 years old?
No, 20 months or 18 to 20 months to 11 years old. Yes.